Money, 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 money. That is what I'm going to talk about in today's episode. I just came back from a 2-day event where we just talked about money for the whole 2 days. It was crazy. It brought up a lot of fear, a lot of negativity around the feeling of money, a lot of positivity. I met amazing people. And it just made me realize so much around the topic of money and holding ourselves back and embracing what I actually really want and being honest with what I want. And that's what I want to talk about in today's episode. So I know this is a topic that is relevant for all of us, money, because it impacts all of us, doesn't it? We all need it. It's an energy source. It's a necessity. We have to have money. And we're all in control and determine our own success around money. It's such a complex, multifaceted topic because some people strive and want more money. Some people don't want money, but they secretly do want money. They say they don't want money, but they're playing the lottery. I know lots of people, friends that are like that. Like I just don't care about money, but I want to play the lottery every week, and I'd love to win £1 million. I'd love to be given it. And it's really interesting. I find it such an interesting topic. How we've all got different feelings, we've all got different motivations, and some of us love money, some of us don't. And it's just really interesting. And so this episode is from my own perspective, really, of what I took from the event. And it was going to be a bit of a ramble today, and hopefully you might take something from it yourself, in that my story being shared might give you some insight yourself into your own money blocks or your own money desires. So the event was called Chill and Prosper, and it was hosted by Denise Duffield Thomas and Hay House. The book was being promoted, but the event was all about money. And they started the event with different money archetypes. So you can go onto Denise Duffield Thomas's website and take a quiz, and it will tell you what your money archetype is. And I was given an archetype of accumulator. And I haven't quite got my head around what that means. But when I heard the description, my first initial reaction was, no, that's not me. And it's because I'm trusted with money. And it said that I'm usually the person that would manage the money at a party, for example, if we're going to split the bill. But I have like dyslexia, and the other one, dyscalculia, which I can't actually say because I'm dyslexic. It's the one with numbers. And so I can't handle numbers. So I was reading into that no, that's not me, because I'm no good with numbers. But I just honed in on the bit that that's not me. And actually, when I heard about the other personality traits of that archetype, I thought, actually, yeah, that is me. So it was interesting how I got really defensive to begin with when I was categorized as something, and I kind of rebelled against it. And then I just went into the event embracing it and just being open. And I think that's one of the biggest things actually that I've taken from this event, is to just be open. Sometimes we can be quite dismissive and quite defensive straight away before we've even given something a chance. And I was aware of that, thankfully, on day one, thinking, no, just be open to this. Go into it with an open mind. Don't try and say, oh, this isn't right for me, this isn't working. Just go in. And so that was a really great reminder to go in with an open mind. And then as we went through the event, we had to pull out 2 cards out of our bag that were given to us at complete random. And one of my cards, which was really interesting and makes me very, very uncomfortable, was, it's okay to live and travel first class. And it was really interesting that that came up, because recently I went to Nashville and I flew economy because I always fly economy. I like flying in economy. And especially if I'm not going to sleep. So if I am on a plane and I'm not going to sleep and I'm just going to watch films, I'm quite comfortable to just sit in those little seats just watching my films. I'm really grateful that I can be on a plane. Like, I just have so much gratitude that I can sit in economy and I can fly to Nashville. It's like a major thing that I never thought would ever happen in my life. So I have so much gratitude that I can do that, and be in economy. Now, the interesting thing was, at the same time, a few of my business friends were flying business class. So we met at the airport and I went off to economy and they went off to business class, which was fine. I didn't have a problem with that. And they were talking about the experience, how amazing it was. And I was like, that's really good. And it didn't bother me at all, actually. They came to see me. They brought me some of the treats from business class. And then one of my other friends that I was meeting out there, she was flying from Australia. She upgraded to business class. And it was just funny because they were saying how they aspired to do that. They set out in their business to be able to upgrade their life and have that experience, and for it to be okay to do that. And I don't have a problem with that at all. I think that that's great. And I, on the way home, because I loved my economy journey out, on the way home I wanted to sleep. It was really uncomfortable. And I remember sitting in that seat at that moment thinking, gosh, this is probably a moment I wish I could upgrade to business. But I would never allow myself to do that, because I personally, now this is my money story, and you might share the same money story as me, or you might not. And what I want to just say here is, it's like not being judgmental on other people that do it, because what I've learned in my own life is to just be accepting of other people's decisions. Now, that's just me personally. I don't think everyone should think like that. But to be okay with other people doing that, if that's their choice, if they want to upgrade and they want to feel that luxury, then that's brilliant. I think go for it. And so for a moment, I was thinking, for me, it's just such a waste of money, because especially at the minute, I'm doing the house up. Like, that could be such a lot of money to pay for flooring, to pay for, I've got so much to do inside my house. And so on the way home, I was thinking about that. Anyway, so when I opened the card and it said it's safe to travel first class, I was like, ooh. And it was really weird that that came up for me, because I'd just come back from that experience. And in that moment, because I think the card said it's safe for you to travel in that way. And it really got me thinking about how that card made me feel a bit like, oh, but I don't want to, and it's okay if you don't want to. But why do I not want to, really? And when I got under the surface of it, it is because, if I'm going to be honest, I got under the surface. It's because I don't feel like I deserve to be there. I do feel like it's a waste of money when other people can't afford to do certain things. I have built up this story that it's wrong. And I don't judge other people for it, but for me personally, it's wrong. And I was like, ooh, ooh. Now, it doesn't mean that I should just go and, upgrade just for the sake of it. But it does mean that I've got a little bit of a block around that. And this is where it was really, really interesting being in this event, noticing that, because all these tiny little stories that live within inside of ourselves are preventing us from maybe upgrading in other areas of my life, because I live with that story. Does that make sense? So something like that really brought that story to the surface. And I thought, well, if it's happening with that, upgrading to business class or whatever, is happening in other areas of my life. And it is. And so this kind of like unraveled a story that I'm living at the moment, and moving house, owning a house with all the work that has to be done. And I've just had a really bad experience where the builder who'd started the work left, and all the work has had to be ripped out. So I've lost a lot of money. I've had to borrow money from people to get this work finished. So it's left me feeling like, ooh, this scarcity mindset now. And what I find fascinating, though, and being in that event, was how quickly we can change our feelings around money. And so I have been going down that road of feeling really like, oh, I shouldn't be spending this. I shouldn't be spending this. I shouldn't go here. I shouldn't go here. And it's a repeated thing. I don't have enough money to do that. The language, I don't have enough money to do that. I can't afford to do this. I shouldn't do this. And I've realized how recently that has built up to be a big thing. And the more I say that, the more it makes me feel poor. It makes me feel like I don't have enough. It makes me feel like guilty for doing things. And when I really excelled financially in my business a few years ago, I remember I used to think completely differently, and I would trust that the money's coming, that it's safe to spend this because I know I'm going to bring it back in. I had so much faith in my own ability to do this because I trained my brain so much by visualizing, by I did everything around money mindset. I was journaling every day. All my passwords were my financial goal, because where focus goes, energy flows. Um, and I do think sometimes it can be a bit unhealthy, to have that, like, that intense focus when we think that that is going to make us happy. And that's one other thing that actually has been really insightful, and what they were saying over the weekend is that striving for more money and abundance, um, is safe, and it's okay for us to do that, but it's not going to make us happy. And so sometimes we think that it's going to just resolve lots of issues, and maybe it will just buy the flooring and it'll get me out of the money that I owe. It relieves that pressure, but still happiness comes from in here. And it's such a cliche, but it does, comes from inside. And so that was a big reminder. And what was interesting from that 2 days was really thinking about that I have kind of like plateaued over the last few years, and kind of feel like I've hit a ceiling. And I went to this event thinking, or feeling like, I'm ready now to go to the next level. And it's interesting when you're at these events, it's like over 2 days, what you remember. And there were certain conversations that I remember, and Denise was sharing how she got kind of stuck at a certain income level for a long time, and how she broke through that. And it's small little tweaks, usually around our beliefs around money, or our ability to succeed, or our ability to get to the next level. And identifying the blockages is usually what can turn it around. And not for everybody, not everybody focuses on this stuff. Some people just charge with like a bull, this is what I want to earn and I'm going to get there, and they do it really quickly. And I think it depends on the individual. I've got a lot of mindset issues. I've got a lot of challenges. I've got a lot of fixed thoughts because of my background, where I come from, the experiences that I've had, the decades of not having anything. Well, that's not true. See, that's a limiting belief, not having anything, but feeling like I don't have anything. Decades of feeling like that. So it takes a while to retrain those thoughts, to overcome those challenges. And I actually feel really grateful at the moment for what I have. Like, I've created United Art Space. I've just bought my own house. And there's a part of me, because of people around me and society, that says, well, you should be grateful now. You should be grateful for what you have. Stop there. You've got enough. You've got more than loads of people out there. So why would you want more? And there's almost like a guilt around that of, but I want to just see if I can go to the next level. And that's okay. Doesn't make me greedy, doesn't make me selfish. It's okay. And that's what came out of this weekend, was it's safe to have a money goal and aspire to it, and not be greedy, even just to kind of like make it fun. And so from that, I then looked at some of the money stories that I'm holding on to that could be getting in my way. And so one of those was flying first class and having a first class life. I'm very grounded. I'm very laid back. I don't, I still shop at secondhand stores a lot. I get a lot of my clothes secondhand, and that is okay. And this lady who was teaching this, I don't know if you've ever come across Denise Duffield Thomas. I remember Denise Duffield Thomas from years ago when I first set an online business up. Denise was kind of in the online space, figuring it out herself. And I remember that she was doing okay. She was probably like where I am now. um, but with a much clearer goal and a much more determined outlook. And I think I remember when Denise like turned over her first million, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. And now at this event, she said that she has turned over $35 million from being online, selling online courses. I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And she still shops in secondhand stores for clothes. She said 80% of her clothes come from secondhand stores because that's just what she likes to do. And I think I will always be like that. I'll always shop at secondhand stores because I love it. I love a bargain, and no matter how much I make or how much I earn, I'll always shop at secondhand stores. But part of that, which was really interesting though, is that there's this line sometimes between you enjoying that, but also doing it because you feel like you don't deserve it. And this is what I still don't have the answers to, but it goes back to that flying first class. There's part of me that, maybe if I turned over millions, I don't know if I'd still want to because I like being in economy. But then there's this line of doing it because you actually enjoy it and you like being there versus actually I don't want to do that because I don't feel like I deserve it. I don't feel like it's right. I feel like I might be judged. And that's what was coming from this event. It's kind of knowing that I like buying secondhand clothes, but where is the line here that crosses to I buy them because I don't deserve new things? And I don't know. I don't know how the answer. But it's a line that I'm exploring because I do know that I really enjoy buying secondhand clothes. I like getting a bargain. But I do think there might be a line where I don't do it because I don't deserve. And as I say that, I can feel my eyes welling up. So this is a really good indicator, actually, when you start to think about this stuff, is if you start to feel emotion, it's like, oh, that's hitting something. There's something there. And that's what I'm exploring. And I'm not doing this too deeply. I'm just doing it at a very top surface level of thinking about next year and really thinking about my money goal, which I've had a money goal for the last 3 years and I'm nowhere near it. And I've just been questioning recently because it feels like it's just a goal for the sake of having a goal now. And this year I've been really like, all right, why is this goal here? And how am I going to get there? And what do I need to feel now to get to that point? And let's take this seriously. It's not just a number. Let's actually focus on this. Um, and and that shift and opening up now to be more open around it being safe to go towards that and being quite excited about the things that I could do to hit that. It's starting to feel good and it's starting to feel possible and it's starting to feel like a no-brainer. And I remember that's how I used to feel years ago, but I've got into this trap now of I shouldn't, I can't, oh, I need to be careful. And not that that isn't true, I'm still going to be careful, but it's those thoughts and words are subconsciously holding me back. So that's where I'm going with the money mindset. And it's interesting because the last few years in United Art Space, I haven't been focused. We've always had a money goal, but I haven't been focused on the money because my big goals have been around producing content. We've set up systems and processes in the back end of the United Art Space. I've been developing the software. I've been developing functionality. I've been so focused on the delivery and the experience and what content we put out there and getting people results. And so I haven't been intently focused on the money. I've kind of put these goals together and kind of worked out what I'd need to do, but I haven't really kind of given it my all, if that makes sense. And this end of this year and next year, I'm changing that. So I'll let you know how it goes. At the moment, I'm just really working on the mindset around money, really giving my goals passion instead of it just being a number. And that's one big thing that I've taken away from this is that when you have passion and a purpose and a why and a real, kind of connection with that money goal, it's more likely to happen. So there we go. There's my thoughts. I don't think I've got anything else to say, so I'll leave it there. Maybe just end it on, it's safe for you to earn more money if that's what you want. Take care, my friends, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.